Below every single video I post, I get at least one comment asking me what some good replica brands are, or what I think of XYZ replica brand. And even though I talked about this literally 1,000 times by now, here are the top 9 brands that are just gonna be good to go. Now, what are the criteria here? Well, pretty simple. Number 1, it doesn't glow under night vision. Number 2, the stitching holds more than like 2 game days, so good stitching and material. And number 3, they actually look good and they don't look like a really cheap replica, even if they might be. Now you hear that and might be saying, hey bro, just buy real Crye. There's the door. Bye. Anyways, now that we have the Crye or die shooters out of the way, let's finally get into it. Starting out at number 9 is Idogear. And keep in mind, Idogear is still a very good brand. Just compared to the next couple of brands, they're at the lowest. Now the upside with Idogear is that they're on Amazon, they're cheap and they're everywhere. The downside is, for example, their Crye clothing just is badly cut, fits badly, and just looks kind of weird because of how they're cut. Next up, and this is kind of the odd one out here, is Helikon-Tex. Now, Helikon-Tex is not really a replica brand, and that is what makes them so special. They design their own stuff, and that is a up and downside. The upside is they design their stuff with their cost in mind, so you don't have to replicate something like a Crye plate carrier and then cut costs somewhere just to get the price down whilst keeping the same design idea. But the problem is if you have, for example, a full Crye plate carrier and then you put one Helikon-Tex pouch on it, you will probably be able to tell that it's a Helikon-Tex pouch just because the way they're designed. Personally, I do not like the chest rig and plate carrier designs that Helikon-Tex offers. However, their pouches and clothing is really good and for a really competitive price. Okay, next up is Krydex, and Krydex kind of is like the hotter, older sister of Idogear, because not only do they offer better plate carrier replicas for a better pricing, but all of the other stuff is better. And Krydex offers a lot of cool pouches and other nylon gear. Especially on AliExpress, they have a wide variety of cool stuff for a really competitive price. One personal example would be the 2-point sling I have from them. On AliExpress, this costs about 16 to 20 bucks. And compared to my friend's cheaper rifle sling from a different brand, this one is way more comfier, doesn't bind up on itself, and just keeps working, which is pretty cool. Next up is my personal favorite, to be honest, for odd reasons, Mia SMTP. They are their own store on AliExpress, and they also have their own Instagram page. Not only do they offer a lot of good replicas of, for example, Crye clothing or plate carriers or even pouches, but they also, for example, offer their own designs with their new fanny pack that just came out. And this is really cool, they also offer some Rusfor or Eastern style kit. So no matter if you're a Western, NATO milsimmer, or more of the Rusfor LARPer, Mia SMTP has you covered with good quality for a fair price. Just one example here, I bought the Replica Velocity Systems rugby shirt and multicam short sleeve for about 27 bucks. And it has prestige, colors, and quality. The next brand, asterisk, is Cootac. And what is that asterisk about? Well, Cootac isn't really a brand. They are a store and they offer a lot of good brands. The most prevalent brands are POA or Put On Armor and Sunsnow. And let me tell you, Cootac is a pretty cool website where you can get a good budget kit in one go. You can go and choose clothing, pouches, plate carriers, everything in one go. You shouldn't do that because you're just going to waste money. I talked about that in a different video. But you could do it, and they offer good budget gear. However, because it's different brands, you get either very good or just good replicas. For example, my back panel is from Cootac, and while it looks good, the zipper doesn't look like the original, and that is just a small detail. Now again, quality, coloring, and everything is great, but if you care about the details, keep that in mind. Okay, we've made it through half the list. Great. The brands that are next are literally no-brainers. They are the best of the best when it comes to replica gear. Now, quick side note, if you disagree with me or you have something to add about everything I have said here, or maybe something that I completely missed, please leave it down below. I'm only as smart as your comments make me. Number 4 is Emerson Gear. I don't think I have to say anything here, but if you don't know them, they're basically the apparel king. They also offer plate carriers. For example, their JPC is the best budget option for a replica JPC in my opinion. But in my opinion, their strength lies in their clothing. They offer a wide variety in terms of sizing and colorways / camouflage for their Crye replica uniforms. For example, I have a black and yellow label. Yes, they have different labels for quality, whole different topic. Replica Crye G3 in long, because if you don't know, I'm 6'4", 90% out of legs, so I need long cut pants. And getting long cut pants for a good price, for a good quality, is almost impossible. But I snagged these off of the German Craigslist, which is Kleinanzeigen, for 60 bucks brand new with the tags still on, which is insane. I really like them. The material feels good, the stitching is great, and the colors look awesome. Now, while Emerson Gear offers the best clothing, what if you need plate carriers and pouches? That's where Pew Tactical comes in, the number 3. Pew Tactical is in my opinion the best in terms of budget replica gear and pouches. No matter if you need a Heli-4X plate carrier, maybe a Ferro FCPC, a JPC, or a cummerbund, or whatever, they probably have it. And their replicas are 1-to-1, almost as good, and they also have a replica of the new LV120, which is basically a 1-to-1 replica, for about $200, which is insane. Now they do restock a little bit slower, but that just shows you that they actually put care into their products and don't just mass produce like cheaper brands do. By the way, if you want to know how good the LV120 performs in airsoft or just in general LARPing, check the video up here. Yeah, okay. Guys, I just got the call. I need to add another store to the list. If you're in need of some cool patches like this, or maybe a cool little new keychain, for example this one that I've been rocking for literally months now, check out Sovereign Design UK with the link down below and type in the code blowling_10 at checkout to give you 10% off of your checkout. I don't get any money from them, just the code for you guys, so leave some love. Anyways, back to the actual list. Tactical Raiders. This is the only brand that I have literally zero hands-on experience as far as I'm concerned. Maybe I touched one of their products without knowing when I looked over at a friend's kit. But from what I've heard on my Discord server and also on the internet in general, Tactical Raiders makes pretty cool stuff. And I've seen some of their stuff on AliExpress as well. For example, their Shaw Concepts plate carrier replica, or also their Crye replica pants in a lot of cool colorways. And from what I've heard, their quality, stitching, and everything else is pretty good. But again, I don't have any personal experience here, so take everything I say with a rock of salt. Anyways, let's finally go to the #1 store. You probably heard of this store. A lot of people like this store, and they do one of the best replica stuff out there. And if you only take one thing away from this video, it's this name: Shekkin Gears. Shekkin Gears is their own little website on the internet, and kind of like Cootac, you can buy a whole kit with pants, shirt, pouches, plate carrier, everything on there. But they're a little bit more expensive than Cootac, but for good reason. From what I've seen and what I think, Shekkin Gears is kind of like a 1-to-1 replica, almost closing in on real steel kit. They're like on the upper end, they're like the ceiling of what replica gear is. But you also pay for that. Their pricing is slightly more than average, however it's still minuscule compared to the real stuff. The TLDR here is Shekkin Gears is the best option for you if you have a bigger budget but still want to ball out on real Crye. Okay, so Shekkin is the best, but maybe there are some stores that you should avoid. Oh yeah, there is one. TMC. I used their replica Ferro FCPC in Ranger Green or Olive Green, and let me tell you, I did not like it. The FCPC in itself is a pretty good plate carrier. However, the green from TMC is off color and doesn't look like the real at all, and the stitching and material started breaking apart after like 1 or 2 months of semi-intensive use. One of the molly slots on the chest where the ATAC goes actually ripped apart. The stitching and sewing and overall material on my shoulder pads and on the upper plate bag area started fraying and loosening up, which is not good, especially for the price. So overall, I cannot recommend TMC. However, again, if your opinion differs here, please let me know why and how. Now, when you go shopping on AliExpress, you're likely to see 50% off, buy now. That's literally clickbait. That's the real price, and they just act like it's 50% off, so you buy more because you think, oh, it's soon gonna be more expensive. It's not. That's the price, it will not change. Chill out, bro. Also, if you're not from Asia, I would definitely recommend checking the second-hand market like Craigslist, Kleinanzeigen, eBay, whatever. And a lot of times, kind of like me, you can find good replica brands for a really cheap price. And you don't have to wait for 2 weeks for it to ship from Asia, which is pretty cool. So now you have the final list. You don't need to think anymore. Or do you? This is just still a very minor look into the replica gear world. And when you find different brands or stuff that look good and you don't really know if they're legit or not, use your own 2 brain cells. Do research, maybe ask on my Discord server, or just look on the reviews. But if you're not sure how to actually use your brain when it comes to maneuvering through AliExpress, I made a whole video about that I will link right now and also at the end of the video, which you should definitely check out because almost 50,000 people are of the same opinion. Anyways, I think I probably missed some brands or maybe got something wrong because all of the stuff about gear always changes. For example, the Emerson labels always change in what they mean. So please correct me or add on to what I said down below, not just so I can learn more, but also so the people that are actually looking for new gear can look down below and get even more information. That's the entire purpose of my channel. Anyways, I hope this video helped you and see you next time. Until then, LARP.